Hey, this is Nate Sroor, former owner of Blank Slate Media and Chief Revenue Officer of Pneuma Media. Wanted to take this opportunity, film this video here for Dave Goodall and the Tap Mental team. Give you all some insight on where I was before starting to work with Dave and where I am now. So, the short version of it is I was in a completely different place, not only physically, but also mentally a little over a year and a couple months ago when Dave and I started working together. So, at the time, both of my businesses were plateauing a little bit, and in my personal life, I was definitely struggling both with how I felt about myself and in turn how I was able to show up for the people, not only in business, but also in my personal life with some of my relationships as well. Short answer is I was struggling pretty much across the board. When I started working together with Dave, he quite honestly did what a lot of therapists and coaches and people that I've called in and paid to help me with in the past didn't do, is he shot me straight. He told me exactly how it is, how I was thinking was incorrect, more importantly, how to kind of shift and reframe how I was viewing the world and myself and my experiences to turn that into a positive, which I think a lot of the times in coaching especially, people are told, or they want coaches to tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. And thankfully, it may rub some people the wrong way, but Dave is the type of guy to tell you what you need to hear, whether it's what you want to hear or not. So that was absolutely massive for me at the time, and quite honestly was a ripple effect as I was able to not only scale both my businesses, end up selling one of my companies, but also move out of my hometown, which had been a goal of mine for a very long time, as well as improving my relationships across the board. If I didn't work with Dave, honestly, I probably would still be the same. I wouldn't be in my new apartment I'm at right now. My relationships would certainly not have improved from a friendship and family standpoint. And quite honestly, I'd be a much less happy, enthusiastic type person because I would have just allowed the things that had happened to me in the past to continue keeping control of me, which we're working with Dave on both the ELI assessment and MER. I was able to free myself from a lot of that baggage that had been dragging me down in the past. Had I not worked with Dave, honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to figure that out on my own. So that was absolutely massive. Honestly, now, call it 13, 14 months since starting to work with Dave. Like I said, completely different spot. Was able to sell one of my businesses that I started during COVID. My other company Pneuma has been able to continue scaling both on an employee side, a revenue side, which I am primarily responsible for. And all in all, something that's not related to business. I feel much better about the relationships that I have with people in my life, whether it's romantic, friendship, family. I feel like I was able to shrink the overall quantity of those relationships, which was a good thing because I was able to figure out that a lot of them were actually not self-serving and were pulling me down more than they were lifting me up, while at the same time improving the quality and really taking, some of the stress off my shoulders to hold these relationships together, which in a weird way actually ended up making them stronger across the board. So holistically, I can say that mentally, physically, emotionally, I have been a better overall man since working with Dave and his team. If I saw my old self, I don't think he would have listened. But thankfully, sometimes when you're at rock bottom or you're close to rock bottom, you're willing to try anything. And I think for a lot of people, including my old self, the stuff that Dave talks about with the ELI, the MER, his NLP training that he does, and I'm now a practitioner of as well. A lot of it seems, foo-foo, for lack of a better term. But I think when stuff gets bad enough, you're willing to try anything and do just about anything in order to make it better. So if you're somebody who, has tried a lot of stuff, traditional therapy, traditional coaching, and it's not really working, or quite honestly, you're just fed up with your situation like I was, I would strongly encourage you to give Dave and his team a try because I can almost guarantee that you will not regret it, or at the very least, it will open your eyes to something that you probably would have never thought about before, which in and of itself is most likely going to be a positive experience. So huge shout out to Dave and the team over at Tap Mental. Don't know if I would be this guy today without you guys, and hopefully this video can help somebody else who is in my shoes before.